Good morning, congregation. My, it's good to see a big crowd.
I don't feel great, but let's sorghum the walls and commence the shooting flies. This Friday, March 27th, I'm playing the Backline Music Hall in beautiful Tupelo, Mississippi. I'll have Bobby Matt Patton with me on bass, Jason Lucia on drums, and Isaac Alexander Railroad Johnson on the keyboards. I don't feel bad because I'm playing in Tupelo. It's allergy season in Appalachia.
I wish more people were here.
Hello, my name is Morgan Geer. Except it's not. Well, it kind of is. We moved around a lot growing up, and I got made fun of for having what was considered a girl's name pretty much wherever we went. And when my mom and I landed in Western North Carolina, just as I was starting middle school, I took that opportunity to go by my middle name, Christopher, or Chris. I found out pretty quickly, though, that being husky and from Alabama were more than enough ammunition for any new classmates to attack. And to this day, most people from my short pants era through college still know me as Chris. Also, my last name, Geer, isn't my surname. It's the name of my stepfather, Rudy, and I've had it since I was about 4 years old or so. The pronunciation and or spelling of my adopted last name, Geer, has become my brown M&Ms, and I'm going to take this opportunity to push my nerd glasses up and remind you that that's a reference to Van Halen, who included a clause in their 80s concert contracts requiring a bowl of M&Ms with all the brown ones removed. It was a red flag test to see if everyone was paying attention. I think I can count, without taking off my shoes, the number of times my last name has been pronounced or spelled correctly by a stranger. I see red flags everywhere. Greer. Mr. Geer, how are you doing?
I'm good, Morgan. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well. It's that, people call me Morgan Greer all the time.
I was wondering if you were joking.
Oh, absolutely. Which is not the only reason I wanted to get you on here, but it's pretty much landing that joke was the reason for being it. No, I get it all the time. They just gave me this kind of fake key to the city in Asheville the other day, and the guy handing it to me was just like, we couldn't be more proud than give this to Morgan Greer. of course. So, Robert, enough about me. Give us a quick bio of yourself.
Oh, shit. I lived in Asheville, North Carolina for 23 or 4 years. From Western North Carolina, moved back in 2002. You were still rocking it in 2002 there.
Yeah.
And started a band called Town Mountain in 04-ish, 05. And we ran that for about a little over 20 years.
How'd you get that name?
We had a much cooler name. First off, naming a band, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. But we were called Meat on the Bone. And
that's not so bad.
I know, I was like, it's kind of like how I love my pork chops,
Right. I know exactly what you're talking.
And then somebody like the third or fourth person who I felt like knew what they were talking about said, man, you can't call yourself Meat on the Bone. It's lewd, It's like, it's not a meeting place. It's how I like my pork chops, It's like
they said it's lewd.
Yeah, like you got to come up with something more square, more round edge than that.
Fair enough, you.
We were sitting. We were living at a me and Jesse Langley and my younger brother David Greer were all roommates at an small apartment on Charlotte Street in Asheville. And David, my younger brother, goes, "Fucking call yourself Town Mountain." We are at the base of Town Mountain. He's like, "Call yourself Town Mountain. You can't get more round edge square than that right there, whatever." So we were Town Mountain ever since.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense out because you and I both kind of get around, and people say, "Oh, Asheville, Town Mountain."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a great name. It travels well. In other words, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, it's not going to get in the way of the music or anything. And it's just kind of
Yeah.
a funny word. If you're not from here, it's like named a mountain, Town Mountain. Yeah, it's the mountain over next to the town.
Yeah.
What'd you do before? What'd you do before Town Mountain?
I taught school for a couple of years.
No way! I did not know that.
A little boarding school in Virginia, and then I worked at I wasn't a very good employee. And then I worked at in Roanoke College the year before I moved down to back to West North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. What'd you teach?
U.S. history, juniors. Before that, I did like Outward Bound seasonal work with Outward Bound. I did their internship, and then I went, stayed with them long enough to become a lead instructor and all that shit. That was fun. That was a fun way to spend the early 20s.
Yeah, sounds amazing. I wish I had done that. Do you ever work with the folks out by Warren Wilson?
I mean, what's that called? Table Rock out there?
There's an Outward Bound station over by Warren Wilson that I haven't had anything to do with. For folks that I went to Warren Wilson and grew up on that campus, and that's fascinating, man. That's did you play? Were you playing music at that point?
No. I mean, when I started, I didn't get my first guitar until I was 25 years old, man. I was teaching at that boarding school in Virginia when I got my first guitar, and all I gave a shit about was playing guitar. And I remember watching lots of videos that year in class, and then just like staying a day ahead of my students on the reading and stuff if I was lucky. And then I remember when I had to proctor study halls on the dorm at that boarding school, I was in my apartment with the door closed, jamming out on bluegrass tunes, best of my ability, trying to learn songs. Yeah.
Does anybody in your immediate family play, or like grandparents or anything like that?
I mean, somebody sings a little bit. Dad played a little piano, and but no, not really.
Yeah. So wow.
What about your family?
I come from a like generational musical family. It's almost
really?
It's almost expected. Yeah, probably
That's
four
awesome.
or five generations back. Yeah, my mom was a singer songwriter. Kind of, she had a beautiful voice, kind of in a Bonnie Raitt kind of a style. But she played around the Gulf Coast between Mobile, New Orleans, and Austin in the '70s. She's still putting out records. She's a poet and an artist.
What's her name?
BB Kern, Kern, Bebe, and
that's cool, man.
She's I was looking, and her dad was a Dixieland jazz band till he died in Mobile, Alabama. He played every instrument under the sun. His parents, one was an opera singer, one was orchestra conductor, and had the first big jazz band in the Southeast.
Damn, son.
Like the '30s, and before. This isn't about me, but it's just a fascinating story. So someone was doing some genealogical research, and one of our Irish ancestors, they had the receipt for when they came into town, and all they bought was a bag of rice and a single fiddle string. And that to me is like, wow, you could write a book off of that was in the 1800s,
That motherfucker was confident right there.
Yes, right. I need two things, sir.
You damn right. That is badass.
I keep the wolves at bay. That is just so. Town Mountain had kind of to me anyway. To you, it probably seemed like a slow evolution. To me, it seemed kind of a meteoric rise. Because
no, I do not.
You don't know that.
It was slow as hell.
Well, I was. To me, I'm surprised y'all were because you're on hiatus. We'll say that's like 20 years y'all were touring, right?
Yeah, man.
That's nuts.
21, really?
That's crazy.
Oh, the whole thing defies logic, man. Most of this shit.
Yeah. What's all? It's luck. It's having a positive attitude when you have no reason to. How did you guys all meet in Asheville then?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so you're in Nashville now. It's been a few months since y'all made the announcement that you were going to take it off the road a little bit.
Yeah.
You've obviously spent plenty of time in Nashville. Are you writing right now?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you playing outside of the house?
No, well, I mean, I went in. I told you, I went to the studio last week on Wednesday and recorded some tunes, and I plan to keep doing that over here. Just documenting stuff and recording, really, honestly, whatever I feel like recording, which is great. And I mean, here we are, it's in Nashville, so it was cool to do that. Only my experience with recording in recording studios was with Town Mountain, and that was always we had a good time in the studio. And that was after the first record we started learning more about it, and then I mean we did like 7 or 8 records, so we got to be where we kind of knew each other. It got to be pretty fun in the studio, and it was a cool contrast to watch what Nashville session players are like in comparison to my experience before that. It was totally different.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was, I like both of them. I thought it was really, really, it was super cool to watch the level of musicianship in this session that I had this past week in Nashville. And, I mean, and watch those guys. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know, some of them I knew the reputation. I knew everyone by reputation at least, and some of them I've known for years, and it was just really cool to watch that. And it was like, I mean, it was like those dudes are going to work, man. They're going and clocking in, union pay, and let's do this. It was a 3-hour deal for this amount of money for each of them, and it was very cut and dry. You knew what to expect, and here we go. Let's do this. Let's go to work.
Professional.
Hell yeah.
I was out there for just long enough to get a taste. There was a friend of mine who was wanting to work on a record. He said, come out. You can stay in the back room. I could always use a Swiss Army knife to kind of help do stuff. Yeah. I was out there long enough to kind of like it was really eye opening to kind of take your head out of the clouds as a quote unquote artist to a craftsperson. It's like you can't run on inspiration alone. At a certain point, you have to think about, well, who am I playing for? If you want to, you don't have to, obviously, but learn how to craft to where someone told me is like I would play them a song. It's like, this is great, but this is like 4 great songs. Why don't you like split it up? And you all these.
That's
these are
a valuable lesson.
These are all great ideas, but it's too many great ideas. It's a mess, and that's right. As an art piece, it's wonderful. Yeah, this is really clever, but it's something, it's also 9 minutes long, and it has 4 key changes and tempo changes and stuff. So it was interesting. I remember talking to someone, I think it was at Tree Music, about just the nature of, talent coming in. And they were just like, man, Springsteen could come in here right now with Thunder Road and we would send him out the door. Because assuming it's a kind of a nobody coming in there, it's like, we can't sell Thunder Road, man. we there's not a Subaru commercial in the world that's going to want this in the background. We want things that they're going to catch you quick and they're going to hit fast. We want long balls every time. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So to me, it was really great to take my head out of the clouds and give me something to kind of chew on, because the nice thing about music is you don't have to do it one way or another at all. To me, it's more interesting to try to make music that people like, other than me, and a little bit harder too.
Other than what you as the artist like, oh, I'll show them what's cool, rather than like listen to you read the room and like, let's go with what people are interested in. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. So it's a tightrope. There's what entertains me, and what I enjoy just doing as the process. Right now, I have super elaborate demos, mainly way more complicated and arranged than they need to be, just because I enjoy the process.
Okay.
But that doesn't always make for something that someone else wants hear.
Totally,
you know,
man.
just because I enjoy, you know what I mean? So it's just,
I got you.
It's just like, I just like recording. I like the ideas and everything, but you have to kind of like take yourself out of it. Like this is, which it's fine if I'm going to hang it on my own wall, but if I expect it to go into someone else's house, like I want to kind of think about it. I like those restrictions. You're ultimately talking about restrictions on your creative instincts, right?
Yeah.
And to me, it would be easier for you to tell me to paint a picture of a tree than just paint a picture. You see, you catch me?
Yes.
To where like Nashville will definitely put limitations on your creative instincts.
You mean if you start like trying to do something, they're like maybe like they're like, what the fuck is that? That extraneous movement. They're like, nah, we'll show that. Is that what you mean? Like they'll.
Well, yeah. It's like, well, you're never going to. In Nashville, I don't. You're not going to impress too many people by trying to show off your talents because there's
Totally,
just,
man. Yeah, they've seen it all.
Yeah, as a songwriter, as a mandolin player, whatever. So what you do have a cottage industry on is yourself. So you know, following your own compass should of course be your spine, but from there it's, are you asking people to pay a cover? You know, well then you've got a certain responsibility to them. I think, and it's not one that's an albatross. It's great because I like making people happy, you know, or making people feel, or getting out of their own heads. And so the easiest way to do that is under 4 minutes, I think, and have a catchy tune. And if you can put some profound lyrics into like what was it? Tom Waits said something about he loves terrible news wrapped up in a pretty package, in a happy package. You know?
There you go.
So I love that kind of thing. And Nashville is really, really good for that. And I can see how it would be discouraging for a lot of people when you're just like, oh, this is not what I signed up for all. And like, yeah, fair enough.
Dude.
Like,
yeah.
If you don't want to know how to make a product, you're not going to get a whole lot out of this.
Yeah.
You know, and if you romanticize this, your kind of punk rock self from when you were 17 and like, oh, that's all like sellout talk, is like, I think it's mature.
Yeah.
You know, and like
those
restrictions are good, and they can be powerful, and they can propel you to be a better artist at your core.
Yeah, I mean, as a songwriter, you know, like you shit, man. If you got 3.5, you got under 4 minutes to tell a story. You better get to the point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's especially knowing your audience, knowing what you do best goes a long way. So you don't just kind of like trip over your own genitalia.
Yeah.
So, this is going to sound like a funny question, but I just did an interview with Janet Bean from Freakwater, 11th Dream Day, and we were talking about how there's sometimes in their career, just you can feel almost a humiliation to playing live music. And I had never really thought about that before I knew them years ago. And
say that again. You can almost feel humiliation when you're playing live music.
Yeah, that she said, like, I never wanted to be a carny, and I thought about that. Like, that's interesting. That's part of the.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of humiliation playing live music for a living.
Right.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I wish I could find the just the joy in the process and like and feel like I'm a foot off the ground. And that does happen, but it's usually when I'm writing. It's usually not on stage. Yeah. In a small bar. And I love it. That's my favorite part of a long night, which we'll get into those long nights in bars.
Yeah.
But there is a humiliation factor, which to me, that it's an energy that I try to turn positive. Like, yeah, this is embarrassing. It's a weird thing for an animal to do, just existentially, is to get up on stage and start singing.
Yeah.
It's a peacock kind of like feel to it. But I think that can be fuel to do better on stage, be more exciting. Like
totally.
Town Mountain, you specifically, it's like, it's electric up there. Not just the instruments. Like when y'all walk out, I mean, I've been around bluegrass all my life. I love the traditional stuff, and, you know, Greasy Beans.
Yeah.
But y'all come out and it's like, it has rock band electricity And again, it's not just the instruments. Obviously, there's that excitement when you come out. And I wonder if some of that. Do you ever use any kind of negative feelings about being on stage or self-consciousness? I don't know if you get self-conscious about it.
Hugely,
to kind of fuel you into being ultimately you turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, you better learn real quick. Like it's like you're when you first start out, you're like anything else. You first start out playing live music. You're not very good at it. Some people are more natural performers than others, and whatever I feel like people gravitate towards their strengths. And for me, I always thought I was more of better with a microphone, engaging people than I was as a flat picker or something, and it was like the guitar is like the vehicle for something. Anyway, like you get better at that, becomes your job, and you get more days in the office playing and singing in front of strangers. You're going to get better at that. Just like on the other side of it, which makes it weird and humiliating sometimes, like people who go to see live music don't go to see live music, most of them 7 nights a week.
Right.
Some of them, most of them go a couple times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And those people don't know how to listen to live music. You can sit there. It's like people get self-conscious about being a listener too. So it makes it weird. You get all these weird energies.
That's
mixing it up.
I hadn't thought about that.
And it's fucking weird.
Yeah. Because clearly we're having different experiences depending on what side of the microphone you're on, but it's a shared experience. Either way.
You go play a show, and you don't know exactly. You know what I mean, man. You go play a show in Athens, Georgia, or Austin, Texas. You're more apt to find a crowd of seasoned listeners and audience members than you are if you go play a show in Topeka, Kansas, or Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and I would never say one is better, but
I'm not saying that.
But there's a good chance the crowd at the places that aren't Austin, Chapel Hill, you're going to get a more kind of electric energy coming back to you too. If they're only going out, I don't know if you remember the Greasy Beans. They
oh man, yeah,
the best. But I was talking to Josh Haddix, rest his soul, about playing in Montana. He's like we would drive for 14 hours, play 5 shows, and sell absolutely everything. It was worth a 2-day drive because they would sell everything they have because everybody in town would come out. It helps that traditional bluegrass travels well. You can go pretty much anywhere in the world, and I think you're going to have some sympathetic ears there, if not just wild fans for it. So they go to Montana and play, 3 or 4.
They love it.
They love it. And so playing in places like that, or Alaska, when I was living in Portland, people go up to Alaska and just make bank if you can make it there because folks are so happy that you came to their town.
Yeah, they're starved for it. They love it. They're genuinely interested. And they're going, man, that's a fun audience. That is a very fun audience.
Now, they might not tear you apart as intellectually as some guy with their arms folded in the back of the room in Chapel Hill. But as far as like a human experience, you can't beat it.
Dude, they love it. They love it.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say like my favorite places to play in a lot of those situations, like you go out west and play those mountain states anywhere to Alaska. You're talking about any of those places out west where they have ski tours and stuff, or they're beautiful in the summertime. Goes all these beautiful mountains. Play the one horse towns, man. Everybody goes and plays Denver. Everybody goes and plays Boulder. Go play Silverton, Colorado. Go play Republic, Washington. Go play, wherever. Manhattan, whatever, Belgrade, Montana, as opposed to Bozeman. You're going to, man, the one horse towns, you're going to have less competition. You have a stoked audience that is fired up that they don't have to drop 30 minutes to the show. And I mean, you know what I mean, man?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this is also coming from 2 guys who play basically folk music in one form or another. It would be a different thing if we went in there as Etzer Neubauten or something and just completely just like pissed off the entire town. But it helps in that situation. But in our context, absolutely. Are there any little places that stand out one way or another?
Yeah, I think like seriously, like yeah, I mean, my best example is in Colorado. It's like, you know, we would want to go and play a bigger market. We want to go and just wear it out in Denver. And man, that happened on a couple of occasions, but never consistently for us. And it's like, I feel like, I feel like we've gotten back into the situation where it's like, okay, remember when we used to go, I can't even remember the names of the places, but like we used to go and do 2 or 3 nights in Silverton, Colorado, which is down in the neighborhood. You know where that is? It's like down in the southwestern part of the state, down in the neighborhood of Telluride. It's not. It's close, and it's like in around Durango. It's on the other side of the Front Range. It ain't up. It ain't up in Boulder. It's the southwest, down in New Mexico, and it's like way less people down there. All the people live up in the Front Range, you know, generally speaking. But it was like, man, those people are starved for music. They're just glad that they don't have to drive to Santa Fe, New Mexico, or Albuquerque, or Telluride, or Durango. It's coming to them right there in Silverton. And the whole town comes out because there's only one option. And everybody's party, and it's January, and there's 6 feet of snow on the ground, and they want to party.
Yeah.
And they do that shit for 3 nights in a row, and it's fucking fun.
And it ain't lost on them that y'all don't have to play there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. They appreciate it.
It's not like, oh yeah, these are my buddies from the next town over. They're in a punk band, and they just really, you know, they need us more than we need them. It's like, no, these, you know, they have a van. They can play anywhere.
They love it.
They want to, but they came here. You know, it's just like, and those are the, you know, I hesitate to even call them fans because they become like real friends because they're just so appreciative that that's going. It's right in front of them. You know what I mean? It's things that we can take advantage or take for granted because even in a town like Asheville, it's like, you know, you get accustomed to like any night of the week, there's going to be world-class talent.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's either this or because like for me growing up, it was our entertainment was going out into a field and just drinking beer and have a fire.
Yeah, weather dependent partying.
If there was music, it's because someone drove their truck out there and turned the speaker on their dash was distorting. So you guys, did you ever have I've only known you in probably the second half of your Town Mountain career.
Yeah, man.
I have witnessed the action at some of the house parties that I've seen y'all play. Is that where y'all got kind of cut your teeth at some of these house parties?
Taking party shit? Places like that?
Yeah. We're just kind of like everybody's got a guitar or everybody's singing.
Yeah. Kind of like it probably was when you were at Warren Wilson.
Yeah. Like a lot of people. Well, anybody listening to this can see it's like it's that's where stuff starts. You know, you meet friends, people you don't mind.
Organic.
People you don't mind being in a car with. It's like there's 2 musicians. One is a virtuoso, but is just terrible to be around, and one's pretty is good enough, but it's like the coolest person in the world. Guess who's getting the job? You know.
Listen up, kids. Listen up. Mr. Morgan knows what he's talking about.
So I was getting at like seeing y'all at the Orange Peel. You had that pretty sweet van and everything. It was a decent setup. Did you drive? Did you have a driver at that late stage?
We drove ourselves.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Nothing glamorous about our travel.
No.
Yeah.
I was able to do one tour with a driver, and I was spoiled for life. So what do you do? A lot of this podcast is basically like a how-to for other musicians. Like you show up, you got to be there at 4. You don't play till 10. And for whatever reason that you it's too far to get back to the hotel or nobody wants. What do you do between load in the first song, then last song, and load out? How do you keep your shit together during that time?
Yeah.
And I'm asking for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's lots of different ways to spend that time.
Yeah.
And that's the downtime that gets people in this business, you know?
Yeah, it's not the stage, it's the grind.
No, it's tons of downtime. And that's where it's easy to go saddle up at a bar with a bunch of
Yeah.
strangers, and
It's encouraged. You
yeah,
know, part of your pay tonight, son, is 3 drink tickets, which
And-
we're hoping are going to turn into a $75 tab. It's just some people bring books, some people do crafts. I mean, with cell phones, it's a little easier. If the hotel is close enough, then well, that's an easy one. Go take a shower and stuff.
Yeah.
If you have someone to drive, that helps a lot. But so much time is like trying to deal with, like, how do we get to and from the hotel to the bar? Everybody's had something to drink,
totally, man.
It's and then times, you're playing six shows in a week. It's hard to keep it together and keep your sanity. Now, I'm not even talking about just alcohol or drugs.
You're just talking about being around the same jackasses.
Just being around.
Yeah.
Bunch of either the same folks that in your immediate pod, or you are playing 3 weeks straight. You're no offense to the people I've met on kind of one-offs, but you're kind of meeting the same people over and over again too.
Yeah.
And having the same conversation, how's Asheville? How's this? How's that? And you're an empathetic guy. You're a nice guy. You don't want to sometimes envy the people who can just be assholes. Be just like, look, I don't have time. No autographs. But it can be almost vampiric, where it's like, I'm having the same conversation again.
Yeah.
How do you keep your enthusiasm, or do you?
I mean, I think you get good at. I think there's the first stage of your being on the road, and you go and you're all psyched, and maybe you have to set up a PA every now and then. That's the worst of your life. You're like, okay, I'm getting physical fitness here.
Yeah.
Playing a private party, and then, and you do that, and then you're just fired up, right? You have this youthful energy of it.
Yeah.
And some people can just maintain that, for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because starting off, there's a romanticism about it. I remember the first time I ever went on tour, as like just being there at the gas station, I was like, I was in my own movie, and then the first time I went to South by Southwest, I was like, oh, I did it, I did it.
Yeah.
Which to me, I have to remind myself whenever I find myself kind of like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing here at this, at this stage? And I look back and it's like, you've already won. Your 14-year-old self is like, how many records have you made? You've played Newport, you've played around the world, literally. And it's like, what are you complaining about? He's like, it's important to put yourself in your younger self's shoes. And it's like, yeah, you did it. Everything else from here is just, more of the same. Or
the ego, man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's some vanity and ego, but keeping that romance, that the romance of it goes away after a while. It's like any relationship. Your relationship with a person is not that unlike with your relationship with, like,
the truth happens.
Right. The music is a love of my life. So is my son. So is my wife.
Yeah.
And maintaining a healthy relationship with music is something I think about all the time, because I don't want it to go. I don't want it to go away. I don't want to misuse it, and I don't want to get. I don't want to resent music. And there's been plenty of times where I was just like, oh man, I could have been a lawyer. That was my path, and
I could not have been.
I could have done anything but this. Well, that's the thing. You couldn't. It's like, but yeah, you're smart enough to. You do breathe air. You live in a world where lawyers exist. But there's when I go too long. I was just texting my friends in Alabama today. I was just like, y'all, it's been like a week since I've played a show, and I'm starting to freak out. The idle hands and all.
Yeah, man.
So I'm not sure how much of a choice we really do have. I
love that, man. I love, like, I'm getting more used to it now, because I'm at home a lot more.
Yeah.
And that has been taking a real getting used to is,
Do you have a newborn?
Man. She's 13 months old, man.
My God.
Her name is Sophie Rose.
Oh, it's beautiful. Is she the best?
She's awesome. Yeah. She's awesome.
Kind of puts things in perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
She's
I was,
super sweet.
yeah, yeah. It's I like that it's taken some of the like music can get stressful. Kind of the more goals you reach,
Yeah.
and in that the stakes get a little higher with every rung on the ladder, and to where it music builds up. Like I was saying, how like I don't like resenting music. I don't want to, and a way of relieving that is to take some of the pressure off of the importance of music,
Yeah.
both the business and getting better and better or
All
more
of it.
satisfied with it. Which that puts things in perspective when you've got a little son or daughter on your knee and you look into their eyes and you're just like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
This is a quality of life issue. And
Yeah.
it's like the only way music touches Leon is that it keeps me happy, and how I can be a mentor is to keep following that, even though it doesn't make sense. You know, I just want to do it and I love it. That, you know, I like to think that's being a good role model. and,
I would agree, man. I agree.
And not one's like, no, you keep that at home and then go get that degree.
Somebody asked me if I wanted Sophie, my daughter, wanted to play music for a living. And, I was just instant reaction was like, hell no.
Same.
You know, because it's that thing. It's like you said something earlier about, you know, the humiliating factor of it. That definitely factors into that. My hell no emphatic answer. You know.
Yeah. Well, and again, talking about like how our music goes over in small towns, we're in a demographic that does travel for better or worse. A couple of IPA drinking white dudes playing bluegrass and country.
Yeah, we'll go a long ways on that field.
Right, exactly. It's just like we don't exactly come across the stumbling blocks that other kinds of music play that you could play would get. What other kinds of people that play that music?
Sure.
Other kinds of people who play our music. Or we consider ours that don't look like us or talk like us.
Yeah.
You know, they probably get it worse. And so just imagine like what, like our mountains we climb are nothing. Comparatively, kind of make you feel good.
Yeah.
Or it's like, man, I should have done more. I've got. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Easy problems. Yeah. Simple. Life is simple.
Yeah, you know, I'm still the main character in my own movie, so it's they might be simple problems, but they're mine.
That's right, man. That's right.
You can't take that from me. What do you so are you gonna play? You gonna be playing out in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm going to. Right now what I'm trying to do is document some stuff and record some stuff. I just started doing that last week, and I plan to do more of that and just kind of do what I want, like record whatever I want to record, just like you do. And I mean, I've been coming over here, like you said earlier. I've been coming to Nashville, Tennessee for 25 years. I know a lot of people here, and some of those people own studios and their buddies, and you know, it's cool to be able to call one of those dudes up and be like, hey, man, what you got this Wednesday? Let's cut some shit. Yeah.
And it helps that you are Robert Greer, who you're clearly been vetted. Like, you know what it's we're musicians, we're artists. There's a lot of flakes in the world. There's a lot of flakes in music for sure. So if somebody new comes to town, it's like, oh, you're friends with this, or, oh, you were in Town Mountains. Like, yeah, we're good. Let's go. There's
I mean, hey man, I'll take it. There's a bunch of damn, you know, struggling and clawing your way up and no advantages for so much of this shit. So I'll take it.
Especially where you are. You know what I mean? Like
it's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can have like a slightly shorter ladder, then take it.
Yeah.
So are you still pretty much what's your material like right now? You going in the same basic direction?
I think it's more like, I think I usually write like, I've been writing like slow country stuff It's kind of moany, whiny, you know, and and then like boogie woogie ish type stuff. I kind of get I kind of get like locked into that like roots rock thing, or like a Merle Haggard, you know, my favorite memory kind of vibe sometimes.
Sure. Well, it seemed like that's the direction Town Mountain was kind of heading.
We were. We had that bluesy like train all right.
Yeah.
That kind of shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Which was cool as hell. And I love that stuff. I mean, it's like, yeah.
Well, you brought in drums.
Yeah, we brought in drums and pedal steel, and we had an E-bass, and we kind of played funk country is where we were kind of happening, putting a little more space in, as opposed to just like, so we had just been like a one mic do-wacka-do bluegrass band for so long. It's like, do-wacka-do. So let's put some space in here, give people a chance to dance and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that kind of evolved, what it evolved into. But like, I mean, the tunes I cut last week were all grass tunes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do more of that. And I like to do whatever what the buyer wants to do.
Sure. Well, that brings us back to playing for more ears than just yours too. You know, like what you just said. Let's play something that people can dance to. Let's move it around a little bit.
Yeah.
And the I think the perspective of this is exciting. Thanks for giving me a direction for this. As opposed to, oh man, why are you clipping my wings? I don't want drums. I don't want electric steel guitar. You know, it's like, I'm selling out to the man. It's like, that's certainly one perspective. Yeah. The other is motivating. Just like, oh yeah, let's do that. You know, oh, thanks. I got a new color to paint with.
Yeah, man, exactly.
So that's yeah. So when Silas hit the band, I saw y'all with it was at Asheville Fest outside. Oh man, I can't remember who y'all were.
That was at the Outpost.
Right, and who was the band after y'all? Blitzen Trapper.
Tyler Ramsey.
Oh yeah. Tyler Ramsey and then Blitzen Trapper played either before or after. It was the same day. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Kind of fog, but it was interesting seeing thinking of Town Mountain and Blitzen Trapper in the same conversation. I don't know how much you know about them, but they kind of went to your direction at the same time you were going kind of theirs, and it was an interesting kind of place in the middle that I hadn't heard that mix of rock, a little jam, and bluegrass that wasn't of the widespread panic fish variety.
Yeah.
You know, it came from more of a not really punk rock, but an alternative is such a weak word this day, but more of left field. Some more grit to it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, some sharp edges. It was interesting. So if that's the direction you're going to be interested to see what you're doing. Do you have players? Well, yeah. Do you have players in Nashville?
Dude, this is crazy. I know you. I've never. I mean, we've worked over here. We've recorded over here. Management's over here. We've done all sorts of shit over here. But like, as far as like going and having a studio session where I called a buddy of mine. I called Matt Combs up and I was like, "Hey man, you still on a studio?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, shit. It was Monday." I was like, "Let's cut some shit. What's your first available time?" He goes, "Wednesday." I said, "Let's do it." And so we went in. I mean, he's like, "What do you want to?" He said, he's a long time fiddle player here in town. He's about my age, about our age, and he's probably been here 25 years, and he's a great player. Awesome studio. He runs a great studio and knows all that shit. And he's just like,
I'm sorry, what was his name and studio name again?
His name is Matt Combs,
okay.
Combs.
Okay.
And he was just like, I was like, "Look, man, this is my first time ever doing this. You know, the shit you've been doing for the last nearly 30 years. Like, this is my first time not doing this with my old band."
Right.
So he's like, "Well," I was like, "Who do we use?" I was like, it clearly became obvious. It became very evident to me that he knew everybody that he wanted to hire already. And
is that a good thing?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. It was a good thing. I mean, I've told him like I was like, who do we hire on bass? He goes, this guy or this guy. Who do we hire on banjo? I mentioned a couple of things, ideas I had with some of these players. Like, oh, that guy would be great. That guy would be great. So it's just like, that's kind of like, what do you want the goal of this to be? And what do you, I was just like, well, really, I just wanted to like go in there and cut some stuff that's not original music. Let's go in there and see let's get back in the locker room, so to speak, and be around some kindred spirits. Let's have a confidence booster evening. Back and have some fun, making some music, recording, documenting some stuff in Nashville, Tennessee for the very first time without my bull band. And I think it was all like mission accomplished all the way around. So it was super fun. And it was great. It was cool as hell watching some of those dudes work, all those dudes work. And, man, it was like, we just made charts and we played the tunes and we cut 4 songs in 3 hours. It was awesome. We cut it live as hell. Like in truest sense, we cut it right there. I sang in the same room with those dudes playing, and everyone was there. It was a grass setup. There was no drums, no nothing. And we cut a Stanley tune, we cut a Norman Blake tune, we cut a George Jones tune, and we cut a Hazel Dickens tune.
Oh, man.
And it was soulful and awesome. And it was fun.
That sounds incredible. Hazel and Alice are about the top of the heap. Both of those women together, separate.
So nasty.
Oh man, they have some great anti-capitalist hell-raising songs too, man.
What's that real famous record they did, man? It's an iconic record. It's like them. It's like Women of Bluegrass or Women something. It's fucking killer.
They've got the song that Carrie Fridley does called "Don't Put Her Down, You Helped Put Her There."
Yeah,
it's
man.
kind of an answer to like Honky Tonk Angel. It's like they're just tough. Would not mess with those gals.
I'm serious about the writing thing. Sometimes Larry Keel will hit me up and he'll be like, here, like, Greer, let's write a tune. No calling, no talking, just text through text. And I was like, and it fucking works like a champ.
I would love that.
So, like, we don't have to talk to each other. It's like, just like, no getting bogged down in anybody. Like, yeah, how you doing? Pleasantries, bullshit. It's like, here's the idea. You send it. I'll fucking call back. I'll send back. Let's try it.
I'm your Huckleberry.
All right, brother.
You got anything coming up you want to talk about, or?
Just looking forward to recording some more stuff and spend more time with my family and figuring out the next, like, I've been writing a lot more. I think that this, we should do some writing together.
Yeah.
But doing that and trying to figure out how music's going to be for the next little bit of my life.
Well, you can guarantee it's not whatever you think it's going to be. I'm proud of you, Robert. I'm proud to know you. I'm happy to know you. I'm proud that you call me a friend and I'm able to
Same here, man.
Well, we don't get to hang out enough, so I'm glad we could do it here.
Me too, man.
Thank you, Robert Greer. If you're interested in Robert's music, go get yourself a Town Mountain record. Support for this podcast comes from you, the listener, through my Patreon page, patreon.com/Drunken Prayer. If this show made you think or feel, brought distraction or entertainment, whatever has you listening, please consider supporting it directly. Patreon.com/Drunken Prayer. Thanks again for listening.
Take a look at yourself in the mirror.
You're here.
I'm Carl Castle, and this is the House of Morgan.
I've been wondering where a lot of you have been.